I hate to say this, but I'm not breaking new ground here. Technology is fraught with that, with people that you think you have a relationship with that you don't get the time of day from, and that's okay. But then when they need something, they reach out as if you just had lunch yesterday. And I have personally, I'm being vulnerable here, struggled with still being professional and positive to that person and just taking the higher road all the time. And I do it more times than I don't do it, but I do figure out a way to work in that conversation. Hey, maybe the next time you land, we actually will get to do something.
Absolutely. I try to just give, and every now and then I ask. I'll tell you guys a story. Um, when I started this company that went from Inc. 500 to $1 billion, I was hiring tons of sales guys. Hired this guy, played baseball professionally, and he was just getting late. Like he just couldn't make it anymore. So I hired him on as one of my sales guys, and he comes, and everyone loves this guy in the office. Like any kind of time I'm walking around, his desk is covered with people because he's just Mr. Social. Well, here's the thing: he sucked at getting sales and demos and everything, but everyone loved him. So I bring him in the office. I'm looking at his data and I'm like, hey, Larry, like, you know, it's not going well, man. He's like, I know. I'm like, let me guess. Are you reading from a script? He's like, yes. I'm like, can you give that to me? Go out there and go to your desk and give it to me. So I rip it up and I chunk it in the trash can and make sure it makes a big thud because I want that theatrical thing. I'm like, Larry, you don't need that. When I walk around this office, everybody is surrounded by you. Everyone loves you. But yet you get on a call and you've got some script that you created and you sound like a robot. Like, just be Larry. And if they don't like you, it's not going to do business with you anyway. Well, this guy goes on to be one of the biggest influencers in sales. You might even know him. His name's Larry Long Jr. I gave him his first sales job. And I was listening to a podcast called the Sales Leadership Podcast. I'm listening to it all often. And sure enough, Larry's a guest. And then he's a guest again. And I get 5 times later, a guest. And I'm like, Larry, I'm so proud of you. You have really become from what you were. And I love this podcast. And I was like, maybe you might want to tell Rob who managed you. He's like, immediately, he's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. He leaves a 60-second video message to me and the host of that podcast. And the podcast, of course, immediately has me. I was like, of course, I'm going to have the coach who has Larry Long Jr. as like his first sales guy. And so I get on and I'm on the podcast and we're talking about asking for requests and stuff. And I told Rob, I'm like, Rob, I've never asked Larry for a dang thing. He's like, I've only asked him one thing ever. And Rob's like, what's that? I was like, I asked him to be on your podcast because I was teaching him how to take your shot. And when you ever need that one ask to meet somebody, whether it's, a CEO of a company, whether it's a fill in the blank, I spent years and years giving to Larry and of supporting him, never asking him for a thing. But when you do ask for that one thing, rather than I didn't do a dang thing for Larry and I come around like what you're saying, Jim, say, hey, Jim, yeah, how you doing? We best buddies. And you're like, oh, where's the ask? When's he going to ask me for money? Right. But if I've never asked you for anything, I'm only giving you something, then I've earned the right. And I don't even ever need to ask. I might never even need to ask Larry for anything. It just happened to be that time. I'm not trying to use people. But the modality of being the giver, being the person that's going to help other people first with nothing expectation in return, because salespeople, sometimes we have a hard time with that. Learn how to give leads rather than ask for them sometimes. Learn how to connect people rather than be asked to be connected. Try to help that other person first before you ever ask for anything from them. And that's really hard for a lot of people. And I think, Jim, you're just pointing it out when it's reversed and it feels weird. Just feels icky.
So with that in mind, let's reverse it. Has there ever been a situation where a team member, whether it's currently or in the past, returned the favor and unexpectedly taught you something about leadership?
Yeah, when you mess up. When you blow it. When you blow it. And they're like, dude, what do you like? When you blow it, mistakes, you learn. You put your hand on the stove, you learn. I learned from hurting people. I learned from being stupid. I learned from saying the wrong thing. I learned from thinking I'm something when I'm not yet. I learned from talking too much, which I'm doing tonight. Like, it just is what it is. Like, learning for me is making mistakes, and making mistakes is okay as long as you keep that Jack Nicklaus mentality of like, just bop it back in the woods, apologize where you need to. What happened to all this stuff up here? Don't apologize to anybody. What's wrong with you, man? Say you're sorry. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with admitting your mistakes. Like, we're just too proud. We try to, take that CEO executive mentality where you're never wrong. I'm like, that's just arrogant. That is terrible advice. That's the worst advice I've ever heard, because you need to learn how to say you're sorry. I was on a podcast a couple weeks ago, and they have these questions where you ask a question, they'll ask it to the next guest. And my question was like, name the last time you said you were sorry. And if you haven't said you're sorry in a long time, why is that? Why haven't you said you're sorry in a long time? That'll reveal a lot about your character.
Interesting.
Yeah, you got me thinking there. That's for sure. Deals close and deals don't close, right? And we always spend so much time doing post-mortem, or as I like to have taught some of the younger recruiters, you want to do it during the deal, not after the deal, and try to help move it down the field. But once in a while, a deal just doesn't happen. And you look at it and you go, no, that seemed right. I can't find where we messed up. And you just have to, unfortunately, accept it and move on. And I get all that, Jack Nicklaus mentality, baseball closer mentality, no big deal. But sometimes you say to yourself, how come I can't figure out where we messed up on that?
Yeah.
Can you share a story along that?
Yeah. Postmortem is perfect. You should always postmortem your losses and learn, because losing is learning, right? Making mistakes is learning. Sometimes they're an explanation, like we've dug to the root of this thing and we can't find out what the heck this is.
Right.
And that's okay. I like to equate sales to like baseball. Like some of the best batters have like a 0.33 ERA, and sometimes they'll go multi games with no hits, right? But if you're new to sales, especially, and you get on plate and you just haven't had a hit in a long time, it actually doesn't mean you have a bad hitting percentage. They actually look to get your batting average. They look for over hundreds, thousands of times hitting. And then when you see that average, so a lot of times you might just be in a streak of like, I don't know. That is literally the best hitter ever. And they went through many games of not hitting, and nobody can explain it. Everything is just fine. It's just literally taking so many swings is what it is. As salespeople, we do a lot of swings. We hit a lot of numbers. We do that, and there will be unexplainable. But now if it goes on forever and ever, that's a different story. But there might be periods of time where you're just in a slump, I think is what those guys call it. But it's not even a slump. It's not even a slump. It's literally just math.
Yeah.
No salesperson on this planet closes at over 33%. Well, some say they do, but a lot of it is equated to baseball. But like, it just is what it is. So do the postmortem, understand this, move forward, get back on base, swing the daggone bat, and keep hitting it. But I think a lot of times we can get that slump get to us, and we can do the postmortem and not come up with anything. And then we I don't know, we think about that golf hole for the next 3 holes.
Before I move away from this, I've always got a lot of value doing postmortems on wins, because many times we do a postmortem on a loss and then a win. Well, I just closed it. I'm great. No. There's got to be a reason we got to this point. And I've always got more value out of the postmortem from the wins. Have you ever done that?
Yeah. I mean, even the other day when I'm talking to my guys, I'm like, when you're cold calling every day, I don't want you to think about your losses. We're going to think about the 2 yeses you need that day. That's all you need. You need 2 yeses in a day, right? And don't be quitting halfway through the day. Maybe you had a bad day and got no yeses. But to your point, Jim, how did you feel around that yes? Like, I remember I just the other day, I did a presentation for a guy. He was like, that was the best presentation I've ever seen. And he got a demo like right after that. Like, yeah, I'll definitely see one. I was like, why? He's like, I was just on a high. I felt confident. I felt like we could take over the world, like, yep. And I think that's what you're speaking to, Jim, is remember, do the postmortem on the yes. Remind yourself you're not a ding dong and you're not the world's worst salesperson on the planet. And that, man, I got some value to add. I believe in what we do. I believe in my people. I believe in my product. I believe in my process. I believe in who I am. And a lot of it's right between the two ears, so they're doing that postmortem on the win to apply it to the next win, because winners keep winning, right? That's when you see those guys that end up winning championships in basketball. Like they stay on winning teams because winners just keep winning, so you want to keep that momentum going. So I like what you're saying, Jim, like focus on those wins, postmortem on the wins, and keep building momentum on those wins, and tune those losses. Don't tune them out. Still do the postmortem there, but try to hang your hat on those wins and keep doing it again. So Jim, I think you're onto something.
Yeah, I mean, motivationally, it's great. I actually mean that sometimes people do things during the deal inherently or naturally. They don't even realize that was maybe the linchpin of moving it. And then they think about it after, oh, wait a minute, I did this. I didn't do that before. Let's try that again on the next deal. And all of a sudden, you've refined your methodology. I think you get more value out of that than the losses myself.
Oh, yeah. And welcome to the age of AI. We'll be able to take all your recorded meetings and upload them into the AI and help you with that. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Make sure you hit the record button on all your sales demos. You'll be able to upload them into these generative AIs in the future, and it'll really help you. And I mean, I know we might not be pro AI, anti AI, or with AI, but like I'm telling you, it's coming and there's nothing you can do about it. And let's just leverage it and put on our Iron Man suit like we talked about earlier.